Всем привет! С вами Асма, и вы смотрите канал Асмодиан ТВ. Я продолжаю проходить игру Age Inquisition. Приятного просмотра! Ну что ж.
Almost there. Keep going up.
Ты проиграл, чувак. У тебя не осталось ничего, чем бы ты мог мне воспротивиться.
Unfair, unfair! That thing kept you whole, kept you from giving me your shape. What could you gain from being me? What could you gain? What? Ah! We'll start again. More pain this time. The Elder One still comes.
It's frightened of you.
Get out of...
The Lord Seeker!
No, an imposter.
That monster ensured we weren't prepared. I still don't know what we're up against.
Did anyone else see a young man appear beside me?
What young man?
Pale, strangely dressed, clearly fade-touched.
I saw no one. The Lord Seeker was alone when you revealed his true nature.
That fake seeker was an envy demon. Apparently I caught its fancy.
Envy? Maker. And the real Lord Seeker is caged or dead. And my captain knew. It's the Red Lyrium, isn't it? I knew that wretched stuff was risky. They often give us new kinds of lyrium, our commanders. Some used the red stuff first to prove it was harmless. The Knights would have been next. That demon turned our leaders so we couldn't question when this started.
I can tell you firsthand it's a clever liar. Bring your best to stop it.
Our best. Templar, what is envy?
A coward, brother.
It studies, makes less mistakes, but most of all, it hides.
We need our veterans. Our commanders have turned, but the lieutenants may still be fighting. We'll hold the hall. You find the lieutenants and the uncorrupted lyrium stores. Bring them here, and I'll give you envy. Show those things no mercy.
We'll keep the hall, Herald of Andraste. Show them the light.
The Elder One wants her dead. Empress Celine. He hates her, haunts her, wants her dead, but hides. Why? He hid other things too.
So, a plot against the Empress. These guys don't think small, do they?
I wonder why this Elder One wants her dead. This must be the Red Lyrium the Lord Seeker gave the Templars.
Just like Haven and the Breach. Where are they getting it from?
They're either mad or fools even to be touching this.
Here, the untainted lyrium Varys told us.
We should check on Barris. They can't hold the Great Hall forever.
Just in time. How many Red Templars have you fought?
Some broke through to siege the hall. More will come.
Храмовники, храмовники.
Have you seen the uncorrupted Templars standing against the Red? Keep your head, my dear, and this day may yet be salvaged.
That thing was Commander Harry. What happened to them? Regroup with Barris. He'll explain the plan. Good luck.
Классно марширует.
save the order. They're getting tougher.
Так. Лириум есть.
Good work on this side. The others wait in order. Entire day is a disgrace.
Free to pass. I hope you're what they call.
check on Barris. They can't hold the Great Hall forever.
Согласен. Надо пойти проведать чувака. Проведать надо чувака.
Thank you for the assistance.
Вперед! Труба зовет.
Bless us. I feared you were dead.
Just get to the hall. Ferris will explain.
Fight well.
Alive, Harold.
Head back to the main hall. We'll meet you there.
Of course.
Нет, у меня еще пара дел есть. Ну, точнее, не пара, а одно дело. Это казематы. Казематы. Больше мне в такого рода играх нравится какое-то количество золота в запертых тюремных камерах. Причем вот 43 золота это достаточно большая сумма. То есть, учитывая, что тут по 28 голды стоит какое-нибудь простенькое оружие, 40 золота это такая сумма ощутимая. Это 1,5 меча, грубо говоря. Таких обычных. Для рекрутов. И тут заключенные такие богатые, оказывается, были.
Thank you for the assistance.
Случай со змейкой. Ну, могу рассказать вам вкратце. Возможно, преподобная мать Клементина II была на самом деле не матерью Клементины II, а отцом Климентом. Тут просто у меня видео крашнулось, поэтому я быстренько прохожу этот участочек заново. До демона зависти. Так, ну что ж, я побегал варик. Ну, в принципе, еще побегаю. Он весьма неплохо.
They're in place. On your order.
Ну что ж, дружище.
Right. Keep them off us. We'll break this beast.
Фу, какая тетка уродливая. А еще храмовница называется. Ну, Ну что ж, Варик, тут надо пострелять. Заставь меня гордиться своей Бьянкой. Все живы. Хорошо. Варик Тетрас. Тут, если хотите почитать, но я вам могу вкратце рассказать, что преподобная мать Розамунда была очень красивой. И в плане не красоты природной, а именно красоты такой животного влечения. И поэтому ей стали посвящать всякого рода рассказы и комиксы похабные. Ну что, жалкая душонка зависти.
Dark and desperate. Death to make yourself alive. I used to be like you. I'm not anymore. You shouldn't be either.
Ну что, демон, и сдох ты от зависти. Зависть тебя съела изнутри, да? Знак. Ну что, а раньше вы прийти не могли? Пришли уже посмотреть, когда я всех забил тут?
The demon is dead. Andraste be praised. She shielded you from its touch. We've numbers across Thedas, but we let this happen. Our officers either failed to see it, or were complicit. The Templars are ready to hear what the Inquisition needs of us.
Так, перерывчик, минутка. Меня послал Игрокам Андрасте.
You need to hear this, to feel truth in your hearts. I am the will of Our Lady manifest. I am the herald of Andraste. She sent me to remind you of your sacred duty, a shield against dark magic, knights who will end the breach.
We will not deny Our Lady's will. Not anymore. But the Order is leaderless, gutted by betrayal. We must rebuild it.
Your order is a symbol that holds the people's respect. That cannot die today. We offer you an alliance. Supplies, weapons, grounds to shelter you. All we ask is you help us close the breach.
Do we take the Inquisition's terms, brothers and sisters? The Templars will come. I hope your stronghold is ready.
We'll be ready for anyone willing to throw their hat in with us.
То, что Солос осуждает, это еще ничего не значит, ребята. Почему это так, вы узнаете в конце игры.
What you found in the captain's quarters means the officers willingly blighted half their knights with red lyrium.
Even before some of them realized the Lord Seeker was replaced by a demon.
Which put us in a position to demand more from our alliance. You should have consulted us first.
We still need to prepare for them. I have contacts in the lyrium trade. Regular lyrium.
If you'd be so kind as to put me in touch with them, I'll secure funding. How many Templars are expected? A few dozen veterans are coming ahead of the rest to help seal the breach.
How soon until these veterans arrive?
They're almost here. Templars don't like to be late.
Make
Wait!
I came with you to help. I would have told you before, but you were busy.
That's fine, Cole. You just startled us, appearing out of thin air.
I wasn't air. I was here. You didn't see me. Most people don't until I let them.
Call the guards. This creature is not what you...
A moment, please, Cassandra. I would like to hear why he came.
You help people. You made them safe when they would have died. I want to do that. I can help.
Чем ты можешь нам помочь, Кол?
Why and how would you help the Inquisition?
The hole in the sky is too loud for spirits to think. It's pulling, pushing out pain. I want to stop it.
How altruistic of you.
I want to help. I can be hard to see. I can kill things that would hurt people. I won't get in the way.
Cole saved my life in Theronfall. I couldn't have defeated Envy without him.
But what does he want now?
I think he really is trying to help.
I won't be in the way. Tiny, no trouble, no notice taken unless you want them to.
You're not honestly suggesting we give him run of the camp?
Not freely, perhaps, but it seems a waste to... Hold on.
Where did he go?
It's a good trick. You get used to it.
We must see if he can teach it to anyone else. I'll have people watch the boy. But let's not be distracted from the breach.
We'll need your help when the Templar veterans arrive. Take time to prepare while you can.
The Inquisition appreciates your assistance in this matter, Lady Corbin. And
I understand you were instrumental in garnering the assistance of the Templars. It is well done. And I pray this Inquisition fares better than the Chantry in its handling of magic.
We will try.
In some ways, Andraste had the simpler task. Magic should serve man, and not rule over him. That tells us what should be, but it does not tell us how to get there. So many times the methods of men have undone the spirit of their goals. Once you have sealed the breach, we shall see whether this Inquisition is truer to the Chantry, or its own namesake.
Can you tell me how our people are doing?
What would you like to know?
Do you have information on people elsewhere?
The refugees in the hinterlands are desperate. Without help, starvation or war will claim many lives. Villagers in Crestwood are besieged by their own dead. They have sent word begging for assistance. People are vanishing in the hills of Emprise de Lyon. It may be demons.
Это ты мне уже говорила. Так. А вот интересно, как бы отразилось на следующей части, если бы я распустил Орден Храмовников? Или они просто уже постепелены, но как-то не сильно бы влияли на следующую часть. Так, это у меня новое задание. Закрыть брешь. Будет гореть в наших сердцах. Раздобыть лириум для храмовников. Храмовников для нормальной работы нужен лириум. Жозефина очень старается наладить поставки, но после распада церкви надежные поставщики и приемлемые цены стали редкостью. Необходимо найти на черном рынке поставщиков, согласных сбавить цену для Инквизиции. Окейшки. Тут что? Предложение от клинков Гессериана. Ваша милость. Клинки Гессериана хранят припасы вдоль всего берега. Они в вашем распоряжении. Наш предыдущий предводитель хорошо пополнил тайники, хоть многим его методы кажутся непорядочными. Ивар из клинков. Калин управится за 12 минут. Хорошо, Калин, управишься. Трудная жизнь в верхнем городе, месть Варика. Дорогая Лилиана. Ой. Союзник из Тархевена. Инквизиция получила послание из Тархевена. Ёшкин-матрёшкин, 3 часа. Искренне приветствую вас. Я Себастьян Вель, единственный наследник Тархевенского правящего рода. Недавно я вернул себе престол этого прекрасного города, свергнув с него, кто пытался заполучить его неблаговидным способом. Как стойкий приверженец церкви, я тяжело переживаю потерю ее святейшества Джустинии V. Я тоже надеялся на разрешение ужасного конфликта, унесшего жизни сотен жителей Кирквала, а теперь угрожающего охватить весь Тедас. От имени Старкевина я протягиваю Инквизицию руку дружбы. Давайте вместе исправим то зло, что явилось в наш мир. Принц Себастьян Вель. Я вышлю эмиссаров, хотя города Вольномарки всегда были независимыми, заработать поддержку этих процветающих городов будет для нас выгодно. Окей, Жозефина. Что у нас в Орлее? Правда ли расплата? Знать и потери. Владычица церкви Фиона. А там обязательства ордена. Ну что ж. Будет гореть в наших сердцах. Так, Жозефина явно хочет поболтать.
I'll take my leave. Good day.
Who was she, Ambassador?
A merchant. I thought we should reach out to the dwarves to secure lyrium for the Inquisition's Templars. According to Lady Corbin, it raised the ire of the Chantry.
Oh.
Access to lyrium makes us rather more formidable than anticipated. We're becoming a challenge. Sadly, the remaining Grand Clerics appear to be consolidating the Chantry's power instead of comforting the masses.
The Chantry should be a place of hope, not another group scrambling for answers.
That must be its strength again. The Chants did much to bridge nations. Little but the Chantry ties Orlais, Nevara, Ferelden, Antiva, and even Rivain to a common cause.
Has the Chantry truly promoted such peace?
Andrasti's chant is familiar across kingdoms, a source of many shared customs. That is the crucial point. Common ground is the start of all negotiations.
Are you sure? Families often fight the hardest.
Having grown up among 4 siblings, I concede your point. I found, however, that the only time 2 parties cannot negotiate is when they cease to speak. We must learn to think beyond our own wants, to secure peace in Tedasa.
Planning to steer the history of the world, Ambassador Montilier?
I believe the Inquisition is already charting that course. Which brings me to a question, if you have a moment. The remaining Grand Clerics sent a missive inquiring about the events at the Temple of Sacred Ashes. They demand to know whether the Inquisition officially claims that Andraste saved you from the breach. If it were up to you, how would you reply?
Will my answer change your reply to the Chantry?
If Leliana, Cassandra, Cullen, and I could agree on our official stance, I could answer that. We should decide soon. The revered mothers don't seem to know what to make of you.
I tell the Chantry I was saved by circumstance, not divine intervention.
Yet as rumors your Andraste's herald grow, the Grand Clerics may not believe such a humble reply. A difficult situation, and I thank you for your answer. A good day to you.
Ну, действительно, она ж не представилась, когда меня спасала. Но, еще чуть-чуть.
What may I do for you?
What do the people make of us?
We've gathered many favors among the nobility. They will be gently reminded of this.
Any visiting dignitaries I should watch out for?
Lady Drummond promised a visit. She has useful resources if we can get her to set aside her games.
What are her politics?
Oh, no, I meant actual games. Chess, cards, dice, little boards with carved idols from the winter. She made me play that with her for 8 hours once. Steer her towards cards, if she insists on a match. Greetings.
What do the people make of us?
We've gathered many favors among the nobility. They will be gently reminded of this.
Если бы это вот еще на что-то влияло.
None in particular. Our guests are well pleased with what they've seen.
Например, ее можно было бы встретить, и действительно пришлось бы выбирать, и карты был бы правильным ответом.
They will be gently reminded of this.
Any thoughts on the people here?
Who did you mean?
What do you think of Sir Blackwall?
Sir Blackwall seems as loyal to the purpose of the Inquisition as he is to the Wardens. His travels must have taken him strange places. I wish he'd speak more about them.
The Iron Bull has had to have made an impression.
He is a loud, unapologetic accident merely waiting to happen. I do wish he'd stop daring poor dignitaries to outdrink him.
Commander Cullen came to mind.
The commander is an intelligent, cautious man. I'm grateful he's in charge of our standing army. Still, he does sometimes resemble the man with a hammer to whom everything appears as a nail.
I was thinking of Cassandra.
Seeker Pentagast is a princess of the Kingdom of Navarra, although that barely seems important to her. She was not interested when I asked if we might make use of her royal relations. Still, the Inquisition would not have formed without Cassandra. She's an extraordinarily driven woman.
Что ты думаешь о
What's your
Солосе?
impression of Solus?
I suppose I should be wary of an apostate, but our elven mage has conducted himself with the utmost propriety. And he has the most fascinating stories.
Насчет Вивьен, что ты расскажешь?
Vivienne.
We've met a few times before at court. She remains a truly accomplished player of the game. So long as her interests align with yours, Madame Vivienne will be a most valuable ally.
Хорошо. Что ты думаешь о Коул?
Actually.
Who? Oh, wait, you mean the quiet young man? How strange. I'm sure we must have talked, yet I can't recall what we discussed.
Надо попросить его так больше не делать.
I know she extracts gossip from the servants, and she keeps prying into things. Sarah's ability to vanish whenever her mischief's discovered must come in handy, however, I'm sure.
I was thinking of Varric.
Oh, I could listen to his tales for hours. He actually let me read a chapter of his next book he's writing. My friends would be sick with envy if they knew. It's excellent, but a bit different from his past works. Only 3 beheadings so far.
Let's speak later.
Another time.
Так, Вивьен, мы давно не
It is
общались.
good that you salvaged as many Templars as you did, my dear. We will need every Templar, but they will require proper management. We also need to increase our lyrium supplies considerably. The Chantry may still have stockpiles we can use.
We likely need more than they have. Our enemies have magic that can rip open the Fade.
Indeed. We may need Josephine to open negotiations with the dwarves directly. The breach has done more than disfigure the sky. The veil itself is broken. All mages, no matter how skilled, are now in danger of drawing demons to them. Before this crisis is over, you may find that Templars, flawed as they may be, are all that stand between us and chaos.
It's a good idea to plan for trouble.
I'm glad you understand. Magic is dangerous, just as fire is dangerous. Anyone who forgets this truth gets burned.
You're preaching to the choir, Vivienne.
Tell me something. You said once that you wanted to change things. What future would you build for mages?
The circle has to be restored if we want to keep the peace.
That's comforting to hear, but you'll find opposition to the idea even among friends. It's something to consider, my dear.
А что в этом плохого?
Do you think that you and I might someday...
My dear, you are delightful, but that's quite impossible. How may I help you?
What are your thoughts about the others in the Inquisition?
What exactly is Varric's role in the Inquisition? Aside from irritating Cassandra. How may I help you?
What are your thoughts about the others in the Inquisition?
I don't know what to make of Solus. So much knowledge and so little personal history. I find that peculiar, don't you?
Так. Каллен готов отчитаться. Ну что ж, пойдемте зайдем в ставку командования. Ваша милость, надеюсь, эти вещи хорошо послужат вам или вашей инквизиции. Остаемся у вас в услужении, Ивар из клинков. Золото, влияние, грифония, кольчуга. Так, тут ничего не обновилось. Ну что ж, Калин. Недоступно. Знать и потери. Калин сделает за 48 минут. Владычица церкви Иона. 36. Хотя церковь формально сейчас поддерживает Инквизицию, одна из жриц возглавила тех, кто недоволен таким положением дел. Владычица церкви Иона из Камберленда втайне собрала их вокруг себя, обеспечив себе тем самым преимущество в борьбе за трон Верховной Жрицы. Если у нее получится задуманное, против Инквизиции снова начнут вершиться козни. Кроме того, окажется в опасности вестник Андрасти. Раз, два, три. Так. Хочу посмотреть просто. Нет, не то. 13 минут. Ага, 36. И там 36. Значит, вдвоем они как раз успеют. А пока тут со мной многие люди хотят пообщаться в лагере. Поэтому мы сейчас займемся общением. Я, конечно, не уверен, но, по-моему, тут была раньше две кровати. Так, Вивьен, я с тобой не договорил.
How may I help you?
I wanted to ask you about the Circle of Magi.
Of course. What do you wish to know? Do you need something, my dear?
What are your thoughts about the others in the Inquisition?
Blackwall is a useful sort of fellow, but he's perhaps too eager to please. He reminds me of a pup begging for attention. Did you need something, darling?
What are your thoughts about the others in the Inquisition?
I don't know what to make of Solus. So much knowledge and so little personal history. I find that
Она не по порядку выдает, а случайно. Так, ладно.
Go in peace, Herald of Andraste. When will you be able to get us the crafting supplies we need?
When they're ready. Piss off.
Ну что, Лилиана, пообщаемся?
The Templars will be an asset to this Inquisition. It's a shame we couldn't also get the mages on our side.
Честно говоря, как-то вот мало мы с тобой общаемся.
Having the Templars join the Inquisition has done wonders for our reputation. The people trust the Templars, and now they trust us.
Anything I should know?
Having the Templars join the Inquisition has done wonders for our reputation. I'll be here.
Так, зелье бы неплохо. Значит, зелье здоровья. Улучшить лечение. Пророческий лавр есть. А так будет восстанавливать 500. Ну, пускай, ладно. 502. Зелье восстановления, это которое регенерации. Лириумное зелье. Повышает максимальное количество маны на 25 единиц. Повышает магию на 30 единиц на 20 секунд. Повышает максимальное количество маны. Это, конечно, полезно, но надо... Бонус к мане на 25. Бонус магии на 30. Так, ладно. Что у нас с настойками? Настойки мы поняли. Но уже неплохо. Дает бонус к уровню брони плюс 23 единицы на минуту. Так, ну остались еще гранаты. Дегтярная бомба. Вот с настойками беда. Так, ну ладно. Тут чуть-чуть потратили. Солос. Солос, чувак, ты ж хочешь со мной пообщаться? Я уверен.
So the Templars will put their powers to use, sealing the breach. Any group corrupted by a demon must be watched carefully. At least they know how to fight.
Templars have flaws, but they are very good at killing mages. I'll need that against this Elder One.
Point taken. Just remember, an enemy can attack, but only an ally can betray you. Betrayal is always worse. Speaking of which, you should ready yourself.
For?
This Elder One. You have now interfered with his plans twice. Once at the Temple of Sacred Ashes, And now again with the Templars. A being who aspires to godhood is unlikely to ignore such an affront. Greetings.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
Blessed are they who stand before the corrupt and the wicked and do not falter. Blessed are the peacekeepers, the champions of the just.
Поющее дело. Вы слыхали историю о королеве Бедвире? Бедвир, как это часто бывает с королями, о короле Бедвире. Бедвир, как это часто бывает с королями, был человеком чрезвычайно самолюбивым и от своих подданных ожидал полного и безоговорочного подчинения. Он считал, что проще всего добиться такого отношения с помощью страха, ведь те, кто его боится, никогда не посмеют ни перечить ему, ни сомневаться в правильности его решений. А главное, те, кто боится, изо всех сил будет стараться ему угодить. Ужас подданных Бедвир вселял изобретательно и радостно с помощью хитроумного устройства железной девы. Дева представляла собой железный шкаф со створками на петлях, достаточно объемный, чтобы поместить туда человека. Внутренняя поверхность устройства была усеяна шипами, которые постепенно вонзались в тело несчастной жертвы, запертой внутри. Бедвир очень дорожил девой и держал ее на почетном месте в своем тронном зале, часто вместе с кричащими пленниками. Политические соперники короля, те, кого он подозревал в заговорах министры-предатели, все находили последний покой в объятиях девы. Время шло, и орудие казни стало попадать все больше и больше людей по поводу все более мелких. Повар за то, что пересолил королевское кушанье, паж за то, что уронил королевский меч, и за дело все королевство омрачилось страхом, и люди молились об избавлении от жестокого короля. И вот однажды в город приехала необычная женщина. Она представилась как Эмбер, посол из далекой страны. По ее словам, до властителей ее земли дошли слухи о мудром правлении Бедвира, и они захотели просить совета у короля. От мысли о том, что заморские короли преклоняются перед ним, Бедвир надулся от гордости и согласился дать аудиенцию Эмбер. Они поужинали и весь вечер танцевали, а Эмбер непрерывно превозносила достоинство короля и окутывала его лестью. С наступлением ночи Эмбер попросила Бедвира показать ей железную деву, знаменитое устройство, которое дало королю столько власти. Король, которому вскружила голову похвала, с гордостью продемонстрировал Эмбер пустой железный шкаф. Эмбер взглянула на него разочарованно, вздохнула и промолвила: «Но она же совсем не страшная. Я думала, шипы у нее гораздо острее». Бедвир покраснел, услышав такие слова, и ответил: «Шипы очень даже острые. Посмотрите, на них еще даже видна кровь». «Но почему она такая маленькая?» — спросила Эмбер. «Неужели она предназначена только для женщин и детей?» Бедвир покрасил еще гуще и ответил: «Нет, конечно. В этой деве погибло множество мужчин». Эмбер покачала головой. «Не могу в это поверить. Ни один воин не испугался бы этой штуковины. Такой, как вы, мужчина, высокий и сильный, тут просто не поместится». Король рассмеялся и решил показать Эмбер, как хороша железное дело. «Я покажу вам, как легко в ней помещается такой мужчина, как я», — сказал он, и с этими словами шагнул внутрь устройства. Но Эмбер только этого и ждала. Едва Бедвир втиснулся в железный шкаф, она быстро захлопнула дверцу и заперла ее. Эмбер вывезла железную деву вместе с запертым в ней вопящим от боли Бедвиром из замка и повезла в город. И люди, наконец освобожденные от тирании короля, ликовали и танцевали на улицах под пение, доносившиеся из девы, пока Бедвир не умер и не умолк. Историю, которую часто можно услышать в таверне «Поющая дева».
But she was so fast and quick with her bow. No one quite knew where she came from. Sarah was never quite the quietest girl. Her attacks are loud and
Про Сэру песенку сочинили.
she knew the ways of nobler men, and she knew how to enrage them. She would always like to say, why change the past when you could understay? Today she will fight to keep her way. She's but she was so sharp and quick with a bow. Arrows strike like a dragon. Sarah was never quite the gentlest girl. Her eyes were sharp like a razor, but she knew the ways of commoner men, and she knew just how to use them. She would always like to say, why change the past when you can own this day? Today she will fight to keep her way. She's a rogue and a thief, and she'll tempt your fate. She would always like to say, why change the past when you can own this day? Today she will fight to keep her way. She's a rogue and a thief, and she'll tempt your fate.
Спасибо. Императрица, жару и мороз, мы бьемся, чтоб ты на БТТТ и привела нас к славе бесконечно. Спасибо.
Templars filling up the place. Best of the polished helms come to save us. Good partners, I suppose, if they decide to stay and do what they're told. Seem to have a problem with that.
Whatever you think, they're the best hammer for this particular nail.
Well, watch your thumbs, because a Templar might slip or... You want about anything else?
Is the Inquisition what you thought it would be?
Well, you're dragging people together, suppose that's something. You're gonna need more trebuchets if you're going after the sky. Or, you know, ladders.
What do you think about the people who have gathered?
Again, with your people. Right, which ones?
What about Solus?
Solus? His head's crammed up 1,000 years ago.
Any thoughts about Warden Blackwall?
He's too good, right? Like to see him out of that uniform. Not like that.
What about Cole?
I'm not saying nothing about that. That thing is just wrong.
What's your opinion of Vivienne?
She's a bitch, but she knows. She better.
Thoughts on Iron Bull?
It makes me wonder about things. I mean, what do their women look like? Woof.
Anything to say about Varric?
Varric? Too clever. Always saying something, but never saying it straight.
Thoughts about Cassandra?
Not as buttoned up as she plays, right? Tough, though. I'd stand behind her in front of anything.
What do you think about our spymaster, ambassador, and commander?
Liliana is pretty in places. Swear I've seen her, too. Or heard she used to play. But that'd be mad. Now, Josephine, she's as good at humbling her kind as I am. Just with less mess. Knows her business, if you have to have it. And Cullen, suppose if you want a jackboot, you get a big one so you can grow into it.
Nice hair, though.
We'll talk later.
Good, right? I'll be here.
Пока, подруга.
So, the Templars joined the Inquisition. Even with Cullen here, I never thought that would happen. Of course, after Kirkwall, I never thought anyone would use red lyrium on purpose either. The Templars should know better than anyone what that shit does to people. Finding more of it really punches a hole in my red lyrium at the temple was a coincidence theory.
How long does it take for red lyrium to grow? How fast can it spread?
It took years to infect people in Kirkwall, but no one there was actually ingesting the stuff. This Elder One managed to take the worst thing I can think of and make it worse. That's an accomplishment.
We can't leave a single piece of that lyrium out in the wild.
I'm with you on that. I've got people trying to find out where the red stuff came from. I think maybe we should make that a priority. But that's enough doom and gloom. You just won a big victory for the Inquisition. What are you going to do to celebrate?
That's a good point. We should celebrate. A banquet. Something like a banquet.
Word to Josephine, and I bet she could arrange anything. Things should be calm around here for at least the next hour. Take a moment to enjoy it. If the world's about to end, I'm sure the Seeker will let us know. Need something?
Зарядил вральник до предела. Так, а где? О, Special Delivery. Я прошел. А, вот он, Кол, прекрасно. Мальчуганчик. Ай-яй-яй. Мальчик по имени Коля. Шутка. Ну что, в специальной доставке есть для меня что? Хер через плечо. Так, ребята, минутка перерыва. Надо закрыть окошко, а то холодно становится. Так. 54 влияния. Это много. Тратить не на что. Найдем на что потратить. Привет, Коля.
You took in the Templars. You let them stay in strength even after what they did. Their own people. It's dangerous when too many men in the same armor think they're right. You should prepare. It's already getting louder.
What's going to be loud?
I don't know, but there are echoes rushing back across us, ripples in a pond from a stone, but backward. But first, you seal it. I hope it hurts less. I'll help if I can, but I don't always say it right.
You helped me at the Seeker Fortress. Say it however you like.
I helped. It's good to hear. I will try.
I'd like to talk with you about the Inquisition.
I don't understand it. People talk like it's a person, but it's not even a thing. A dagger can be a way to let pain out, but even if it isn't, it's still a dagger. The Inquisition isn't real unless it has something real to make it. It's like a spirit.
I'd like to talk with you about Templars.
They're heavy with forgotten songs, like Varric. Some of them are too loud. It's hard to stay near them. Cullen is softer, but demons asked questions that hurt him. Evangeline was kinder. I want to explain, but Reese's mother spoke to spirits, but not to him. Then she died for a Templar he loved. Words just bounce off the edges.
What's your general opinion of Templars?
Some like hurting mages. It makes them happy, or less afraid, or dreams again. Woke up shaking, stalking the ground for one who looks like her. Always some rule being broken. But not all Templars listen when whispers crawl around inside them. They try to protect people, like Cullen. The good ones remember that mages are people.
Can you tell me more about how the Templars feel to you?
They feel older than they look. They've been changed, and their bodies are incomplete now. The lyrium helps, but their bodies always want to connect to something older, bigger than they are. That's why they block magic. They reach for that other thing, and magic has no room to come in. Like when I listen to Varric.
Can you tell me more about how the Red Templars are different?
The red lyrium is different, darker. Daggers under the skin. It eats you inside until you're nothing. They hear a different song. The song behind the door old whispers want opened. They are dead and dark and done.
I'll talk to you later.
Спасибо, Койл.
Creator, judge me whole. Find me well within your grace.
See reasonless.
Commander Cullen
cannot
took me
stay
aside to explain what happened at the redoubt. Disturbing news, but I'm glad you were there to intervene. Thank you.
You're not going to rejoin the Order?
When the temple went up, your forces rescued those few of us still alive. My life is a debt I intend to repay, however I can.
I will talk to you later.
Walk in the Maker's grace.
Cole, or whatever he calls himself, may have helped at Therenfall, but that doesn't mean we should trust him.
I will vouch for Cole's character. Give him a chance.
I'd rather he keep away from me. I suppose my concerns can wait. We must focus on the breach. The Templars are making final preparations. After what happened with the Lord Seeker, they're eager to prove themselves.
The Templars aren't responsible for what happened at Therenfall. They have every right to be here.
I do not question those joining us. Only those who betrayed them first. I knew parts of the Order were corrupt, but Red Lyrium? What were they thinking? If you had not gone to Therenfall, there would have been no one left to save.
I should get to know you better. We're working together after all.
What would you like to know?
All right. Where are you from?
Как сыграть Ферелденца, дрожайшая леди Сидония? Должен признаться, что странное поведение леди Маршейты в последнее время полностью моя вина. Понимаете ли, недавно мы приступили к изучению истории. Я подумал, что юной леди будет полезно познакомиться со всеми культурами Тедаса, а не только с орлесианской. Это была недальновидная идея. К несчастью, вашу дочь особенно увлек ферелденский фольклор. Сначала она заинтересовалась королем Каленхадом, и интерес этот быстро перерос в болезненную одержимость. Она слушала меня, затаив дыхание, когда я рассказывал, как он, пользуясь своим несравненным влиянием, объединял племена варваров. Каждый раз, когда я пытался перейти к более важной теме, она снова требовала рассказать про Каленхада. Ферелденцы говорили, что его волосы желтее солнца, а подбородок сравнивались с высочайшими вершинами морозных гор. К этому моменту я уже дважды срывал со стены ее спальни рисунки с мужчинами без рубашки. Потом мы добрались до оборотней, и это оказалось еще хуже. Как вы, наверное, знаете, ферелденцы почитают народных героев. Дейна их автора. Дейн, по легенде, сам был оборотнем, а у Хафтера оборотни были в роду. У любого просвещенного человека эти твари вызывают одно лишь отвращение. Вы уже знаете ферелденцев и их любовь к дикой природе. Несчастье истории о людях-волках распалили воображение юной леди. Когда она предложила поставить пьесу для отца и для вас, я не мог отказаться. Боюсь потому, что Маршейта и носилась по имению в сырых шкурах, пугая служанок. Она просто репетировала сцену, где Хафтер прогоняет порождение тьмы. Мне сообщили, что в переполохе были разбиты бесценные фамильные реликвии. Весьма о том сожалею. Отнесусь с пониманием, если моя прискорбная педагогическая ошибка приведет к моему немедленному увольнению. Письмо брата Бернара бывшей госпоже.
I was transferred to Kirkwall shortly after the Blight. This is the first I've returned in almost 10 years.
Varric's from Kirkwall. Did you two know each other?
I knew he was friends with the champion of Kirkwall, but little else. We've spoken more since I joined the Inquisition, largely at Varric's insistence. Apparently, I spend too much time with a serious expression on my face, and it's bad for my health.
Но это вредновато для здоровья.
You haven't seen Ferelden in 10 years. Are you glad to be back?
I was not sorry to leave at the time. I did not expect to return. Now, between the Divine's murder and the breach, I've arrived to find nothing but chaos.
You were in Ferelden during the Blight. Did you fight Darkspawn?
No. I was stationed at Ferelden's Circle Tower. The Circle had troubles of its own. I remained there during the Blight.
What happened at the Circle Tower?
You who survived the Blight have fond memories of that time. I would prefer not to speak of it.
What was Kirkwall like?
While I was there, Canary occupied and then attacked the city. The Viscount's murder caused political unrest. Relations between mages and Templars fell apart. An apostate blew up the Chantry, and the Knight Commander went mad. Other than that, it was fine.
What happened between Kirkwall's mages and Templars?
You were at the Conclave. You must have heard people speak of it.
Yes, but you were there.
There was tension between mages and Templars long before I arrived. Eventually, it reached a breaking point. There was fighting in the streets. Abominations began killing both sides. It was a nightmare.
What happened then?
The Templars should have restored order, but Red Lyrium had driven Knight Commander Meredith mad. She threatened to kill Kirkwall's champion, turned on her own men. I'm not sure how far she would have gone. Too far.
So you opposed her?
I stood with the champion against her, in the end. I should have seen through Meredith sooner.
I'll let you return to your work.
I'm sure you have other matters to attend. Was there something you needed?
Is there anything I should know?
I'm glad to have the charges on our side. Bull's men are professionals, despite evidence to the contrary.
Is there anything I should know?
Not at present.
What do you think of the people you work with?
Who do you mean?
What do you think of our ambassador?
We have little in common. How she delights in meeting with nobles all day is beyond me. But I enjoy working with her.
How do you like working with Liliana?
The Inquisition would not exist without her. I may not always agree with her methods, but she's more passionate about our cause than anyone. Cassandra may have declared the Inquisition publicly, but Liliana is just as responsible for its formation.
Are you satisfied with the Inquisition's forces?
Our numbers are small, but they suit our needs for the time being. Some Templars have joined us instead of following the Order. They've proven invaluable in training new recruits.
I should let you get back to work.
Something must be done, immediately.
Nothing will be done.
Commander Cullen said the same thing. It's an outrage. There are mages here we know are guilty of heinous crimes. You would let that pass?
Yes, as will you. We are not here to coddle the Order. You are an ally. Act like one.
How are we supposed to...
Deal with it. It never ends, evidently.
Is there an issue with the Templars? Can I help?
The Templars need to learn they have other uses than hunting mages. It's not easy for them. It is your doing, after all. You created this alliance.
I had to think on my feet, and I did what I could.
Oh. I do sound like I'm blaming you, don't I? I don't disapprove. In fact, you did well. You made a decision when it needed to be made. And here we are. I wish I could say this was my doing.
You're flattering me.
I'm not. This always happens. Nobody ever takes my meaning.
You should see your face.
I'm thinking less flattering things now. Let's hope the breach has your sense of humor.
Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой. Какая ты недовольная. Ну, мы тебя сделаем более мягкой и податливой, Кассандра. Не волнуйся.
I have some more questions.
As you wish.
Tell me about your brother.
Anthony was older than I, a dragon hunter, who showed what a Pentagast could truly be. I idolized him. I wanted to hunt dragons as he did, even though our uncle forbade it. Anthony promised to train me in secret. We would hunt together one day, brother and sister, vanquishing the beasts of old. And then he died early.
That sounds really awful.
It was the end of everything I knew. A group of apostates wanted dragon blood, and wanted Anthony to get it for them. He refused, and they killed him for it. In front of me. I begged the Chantry to let me become a Templar. Instead, they sent me to the Seekers. It took many years to let go of my drive for vengeance.
So you blamed all mages for the actions of a few apostates?
I was young. Magic was frightening. It all seemed pointless. I sometimes wonder how different my life would be if Anthony was still alive. Would I be a dragon hunter? Married to some noble fool, a mother of 3? I cannot say. I take solace in believing the Maker has a plan, but he is not always kind.
I'll let you get back to work.
Do you need something?
May I ask you about the Chantry?
It is difficult to say what becomes of the Chantry now. They have no Templars, no leadership, and no one left who is worthy of succeeding the Divine. It has fallen apart when everyone needs it the most. I ache to think what this will mean in the days to come.
Will the Chantry replace Divine Justinia?
They will try. Once the priests withdraw for the Grand Consensus, it is against Chantry law for them to emerge without naming a new Divine. Sometimes it takes days, or weeks, or even months. The problem now is that no clear successor to Justinia exists. All worthy clerics died with her at the Conclave.
I'm surprised you rebelled against the Chantry.
I left my own order when they took the wrong path. It is no different. But in neither case did I stop caring. Indeed, I care so much that I feel drastic action is necessary. I suppose history shall one day judge my actions. Another time, then.
Угу. Попозже. Пока я добегу, как раз и второй чувак закончит. Угу. Жозефина. Мне удалось найти поставщиков лириума для Инквизиции. Хорошо, когда есть из чего выбирать, а то вдруг цены подскочат, как ты опасаешься. Поддерживай связь с гномами, а я поработаю запасные пути. Кто знает, насколько в ближайшее время подорожает лириум. Лилиана. П.С. Пожалуйста, не посылай своих людей, чтобы выяснить, кто мой источник. От их уловок мне просто плакать хочется. Так. Значит, у нас вот тут Каллен отчитаться должен. Владычица церкви попробовала поворчать, но, полагаю, солдаты Инквизиции за дверями Великого Собора послужили достаточным предупреждением другим жрицам. Недовольные остаются, но опасность, кажется, миновала. Сейчас они переключились на другие заботы. Каллен. Значит, у нас есть раз, 51 минута, 2, 51 минута, дальняя хреня, 12 минут 45. Ага, здесь Лилиана. Наши агенты представлены Куртманс. Мы можем проникнуть в поместье в любой момент. Правда ли распад озера Селестин? На столе лежит страница, вырванная из путешествия церковного ученого, один абзац обведен. Область между озером Селестин и берегами недремлющего моря известна как Срединные земли. Здесь множество виноградников и вычурных мраморных поместий, которые местные называют загородными домами. Часто говорят, что сердце Орлея позолочено. Ну, а Средние земли, пожалуй, самые богатые после Ваурайо. Внизу граница приписка. Граф де Мурьё, маркиза Куртеманс, оба царят деньгами, кто из них? Каллен расправится за 48 минут, но сначала пускай здесь расправится Каллен за 12. Обязательства ордена. Орден храмовников получил из Перендейла требование что-либо сделать с магами, засевшими в своей бывшей башне круга. Население беспокоится, что маги задумали недоброе в отношении города, и опасность действительно есть, учитывая плохое состояние завесы. Мы не знаем, что сейчас с магами. Ради безопасности всех сторон нужно что-то предпринять, пока не назрел кризис. Чтобы оправдать доверие Вестника, нам следует выполнять свой священный долг. Смиренно прошу, чтобы представителям ордена разрешили разобраться с вышеописанной ситуацией. Рыцарь-капитан Бриони. Так, рыцарь-капитан. Так, моя подруга, мы тут не закончили, да? Расскажи еще что-нибудь.
May I ask you about the chantry?
I have no better answers on the topic than anyone might, but I'll tell you what I can.
What influence does Chancellor Roderick really wield?
He's a bureaucrat, responsible for communicating the Divine's will to the rest of the chantry. Therefore, he's accustomed to the clerics hanging on his every word, hoping his influence will benefit them. Despite that, Roderick is not a bad man. He's frightened, and believes his place is to fill the gap left by Most Holy's death. Some might agree. As far down the chain of command as he is, There is no one left above him.
Do you really believe the Chantry is worth preserving?
If you ask my opinion, it is. Absolutely. Cast the Chantry aside and new problems replace old ones. We will have learned nothing from history. The people need stability, and the Chantry needs a new purpose. Andraste had a dream for us. It can still be achieved.
So what should that new purpose be?
A dedication to what is truly important. Instead of building cathedrals and sewing gowns for the divine, the Chantry used to spend its coin feeding the poor. If we are to spread the Maker's word across the world, we must do so with open hearts and open hands.
That sounds rather idealistic of you.
Does it? I do not think it's so unachievable. The Chantry has many good, honest people. They just need direction and inspiration. They need to be freed from centuries of adherence to tradition and ceremony. A chance for renewal is at our fingertips. It does not have to come with utter chaos.
Will the Chantry replace Divine Justinia?
They will try. Once the priests withdraw for the Grand Consensus, it is against Chantry law for them to emerge without naming a new divine. Sometimes it takes days, or weeks, or even months. The problem now is that no clear successor to Justinia exists. All worthy clerics died with her at the conclave.
So what happens if they can't agree on something?
Theoretically, they will argue until exhaustion takes them or they see reason. Practically, however, if the Grand Consensus goes on too long, the Chantry will crumble. Any cleric with ambition but little sense will see this as her one chance, and plenty of such clerics exist. We shall see what happens. The Inquisition must act in the meantime.
If they do choose a new divine, will you serve her?
That depends on whether she would have me. I am a rebel now, remember? And even if she would, I do not know. It would depend on what type of divine she is. I am no longer in a position to follow blindly, and no new divine could expect such obedience now.
And what influence does Chancellor Roderick really wield?
He's a bureaucrat, responsible for communicating the divine's will to the rest of the Chantry. Therefore, he's accustomed to the clerics hanging on his every word, hoping his influence will benefit them. Despite that, Roderick is not a bad man. He's frightened, and believes his place is to fill the gap left by Most Holy's death. Some might agree. As far down the chain of command as he is, there is no one left above him.
How big a problem could he be?
No more than he is already. He sent his message to the College of Clerics. That is the only card he had to play. Dealing with him further only lends him credibility he doesn't deserve.
Thank you.
Хорошо. Iron Bull.
Heard there was a big demon at the Seeker Fortress. Gotta say, I don't mind missing that.
Getting into your head, messing around.
If you're nervous about demons, I can protect you.
My blade pretty much protects me.
Perhaps I can do things your blade can't.
I don't know. It has blood grooves. Well, technically, it's the fuller, but blood grooves sound so much more violent. Anyway, I hope our new friends have what it takes to close the breach. Damn thing gives me a headache just looking at it.
What can I do for you? So how did you get the name Iron Bull?
I picked it. We don't have names under the cube. Just, I don't know. Job descriptions, I guess. When I came to Orlais, I chose the Iron Bull for myself.
But why specifically Iron Bull?
This may surprise you, but I really like hitting things. Also, it's the Iron Bull, technically. I like having an article at the front. It makes it sound like I'm not even a person, just a mindless weapon. An implement of destruction. That really works for me.
See you later, Bull.
See ya.
We got the Templars on our side. Glad to hear it. I'll keep the charges at a respectful distance. Not that the chief has any apostates in the group.
I'd like to know more about the Iron Bull.
The chief. First time I met him, he saved my life. I never thought I'd work for Canary, but he grows on you. He's not like any commander I've ever worked for. That's for damn sure.
How's Iron Bull as a commander?
If you know what you're doing and hold up your end, he's easy. He doesn't accept any less. He keeps us alive, he leads from the front, and if you've an idea that'll win the fight, he listens. I've seen bands whose captains had to prove they were swinging the biggest sword. Bull isn't like that. The charges might give him more lip than you'd expect, but every one of us would lay down our lives for the big ass.
How did a Tevinter soldier wind up in a Kunari spy's mercenary company?
I wasn't a soldier at the time. I was in some trouble, trying to flee Tevinter. A tribune and his men caught me in a border town tavern. They meant to make an example of me. Bull killed them. Gave up his eye doing it. Patched me up and asked if I was looking for work. I've been putting up with his jokes ever since.
That's how he lost the eye?
Yes. The guards had me on the tavern floor when Bull came inside and yelled for them to stop. One of them saw trouble coming and figured he'd finish me off. The guard had a flare. Bull put himself between me and the blow. Big horned idiot. Didn't even know me.
Is it strange to work for a Kunari?
He hasn't tried to convert us to the Qun, if that's what you're asking. Bull's charges don't care who you light a candle for, so long as your shield stays up. If he hadn't told me he was Ben Hasrath, I'd have thought he'd left that life behind.
I didn't expect he'd tell you all that he was a spy.
Not the whole band, but those who've been around long enough to trust. He figures most of us would find out sooner or later, and it should come from him. Eyes to eye, he says. It's never messed up a job. He just writes letters back home. Lots of the boys write letters back home.
We'll talk later.
Now that we've got better maps, if you like, I can show you a few tricks.
Of all the things in the world, a demon who wears someone's face. I imagine it makes trusting others risky.
Without trust, how would we build alliances?
It's easy to speak well of trust when yours has never been misplaced.
What do you think of the Inquisition?
You already know what I think of your forces. I'm not sure what else there is to say.
What do you think of my advisors?
Josephine's lovely, and craftier than you'd expect. The Inquisition could not have picked a better ambassador.
You must have some feelings about our friends.
Cole's dangerous, unpredictable. We aren't even sure what he is. Don't know what he might do. I wouldn't turn my back on him.
We should return to our duties.
As you wish. You are, after all, in charge.
Кассандра. Шлем стража оставим. Посох Тирды, посох Тирды. Пасмурный посох. Дерзость. Кинжал. Так, кол. Нажим кола. Кол. Оружие. Дерзость. Так, еще один кинжал Коулу. Доспехи Коулу. Аксессуары. Аксессуар Кассандре. Амулет силы. Амулет восстановления. Так, давайте сначала Вивьен найдем. Магия пробивания брони и атака. Сила воли и хитрость. Наверное, да, уберем. Уберем. Так, уровня не будет проблем, нет. Берем. Берем. Это в пасмурный посох вставим. Магия пробивания брони. И атака. Вивьен пасмурный посох. Так, изготовим доспехи. 114. Кожа, металл, металл. Кожа, металл, кожа. 114, 114. Собачья кожа. Максимальное здоровье, да. Хорошо. Так.
Serve you well.
Металл, ткань, металл, кожа. Металл, ткань. Ни хрена себе. Так, ну что ж. Ага, ну давайте еще колу. Так, ну кол у нас спец по невидимости. Ну это так себе. Так. Ну, соответственно, да. R1. Войны круги вы бросаетесь вперед с обоими кинжалами, нанося глубокий порез и дополнительный урон в случае атаки с фланга. Так, вы бросаетесь вперед с обоими кинжалами, нанося глубокий порез и дополнительный урон в случае атаки с фланга. Попадание урона РД, минус к урону 200. При нападении сбоку ваши двойные коньки разрухавывают бронь цели. С каждым убийством у вас становится выносливо, что очень мотивирует продолжать буйство. Ну, это так. Атаки сзади из фланга гора. Ну вот. Ну что ж, ладно. Так, осталось нам... Осталось нам прочитать. Так, а у меня тоже что-то есть. Так, раз, два, три, четыре. Пускай копятся очки. Ну, наверное, мы пойдем в классическом составе. Кока-кол. То есть Кассандра, Пол и Солос. Ну, хотя нет. Да, пойдем в классическом составе. По скулам мы уже потом поиграемся. Да, попадем. Когда у нас будет... После квеста будет гореть в наших сердцах. Так, и здесь плюсик. Обязательства ордена. Прибыв в Перендейл, мы увидели, что маги действительно заперлись в своем бывшем круге. Была некоторая враждебность поначалу, но магов было мало, а оборонительные чары оказалось легко снять. Распросив магов, мы узнали, что после череды восстаний они так и оставались в Перендейле. Поскольку население относилось к ним все враждебнее и враждебнее, им пришлось укрыться в круге. Маги обратились к нам за помощью. Орден полагает, что маги не представляют опасности, и мы привели их в Инквизицию, чтобы они могли помочь нашему делу. Как мы видим, опасны были как маги местным жителям, так и местные жители магам. Жители магам. Если бы мы не вмешались, дело могло окончиться кровопролитием. Рыцарь-капитан Бриони. Так. Завершено, завершено, завершено. Знать и потери. Командир Каллен. Насколько я понимаю, вы были главнокомандующим при переходе Инквизиции в цитадель Тринфаль. Стало быть, безопасность союзных вам мирных участников обеспечивали вы. Мой брат Леонтин Понтиваль погиб в этой потасовке. Я вызываю вас, предположительно честного человека, ответить за его смерть на дуэли, которая состоится в Валруя через неделю на рассвете. Викант Требин Понтиваль. У нас в рядах есть опытная дуэлянтка. Я могу назначить ее секундантом и принять вызов. Хорошо, командир Каллен. Ну что ж, тут у нас взято. Карта. Тут все завершено. Так что думаю, что да, будет гореть в наших сердцах. Мы придем с выполненными миссиями. Ну что ж, ребята, а на этом я заканчиваю эту часть прохождения игры Dragon Age Inquisition. С вами был Асма, вы смотрели канал Асмодиан ТВ. Подписывайтесь, ставьте лайки, оставляйте комментарии. И до следующей встречи. Пока-пока-пока.